Welcome back to Unabashed You, Mary Ann and Amy. You've both been guests of the show. We actually did an episode very similar to this last year where we looked at the
Mhm.
previous year and then had some sort of thoughts about the new year. So welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yes. All right, so let's dive into starting with this year that we're wrapping up right now, 2025. What was your favorite memory or most joyful moment? Let's start with the happy stuff.
Right. Do you want to start? Or who would you like to have
Doesn't
start?
you're both, yeah, you're
Doesn't
both
matter.
going to answer, so all good. However you want to do it.
All right, I'll jump in. This is very
Yes.
so one of my favorite memories, which really provided a very joyful moment, was our family trip to Washington, D.C.
Oh,
And it was during the shutdown. And so there was really not very many people around. And we just walked everywhere, and we walked the National Mall and by the White House and all these wonderful, iconic representations of our country. And at one point, there was quite a bit of rain, and I just stopped. And I took in the joyful moment of we were holding hands, walking down the street, my husband, daughter, and I, and she was wearing red rain boots and was stomping in the puddles. And at one point, kind of broke off and filmed herself. You know how 20-year-olds always do that. She's 22, to capture the moment. It was very fun.
oh, that does sound fun. Like what a picture that paints.
Yeah.
Now, what about you, Amy? Joyous moment this year.
So for me, I mean, it was kind of a joyous moment after, but when we moved. So we
Oh,
moved
right.
earlier this year. We moved in March, and moving is never super joyous or fun, but getting into the new home and just having space and setting it up. And really, the joy for me came for being able to host Easter. We moved and we immediately hosted Easter. I remember you saying, like, you're hosting something, you just moved. I said, yes, we're opening up our home. And then I got to host our women's retreat here when we did the women's soul care later, like I think 2 months after that. And so it was just the joy that filled our home with the friends and the family is what it was to have the
Right. And
space to
you
be able
you
to have
had
that
been
again.
so patient in waiting to
Yeah.
move into a bigger space for the three of you. And so
Yes.
that, wow, that was
And the
really
prayer was to be able to open it to friends and family and
right.
have it filled with those that we love and to be able to do that so fast because
Yeah.
it
And you
just,
did that so quickly.
yeah, it was wonderful. Just
Oh.
amazing.
And I would say for me, I think travel this year was really sweet. You know,
Yeah.
we're at that point, empty nesting, Ron's retired. I'm doing this. It's a labor of love. Getting to, go visit my stepdaughter and her family moved to Idaho, went there a couple times. We got to go to Hawaii. Then we just recently went on a river cruise and went to London first. And just being able to do that, to really
Yeah.
enjoy it, something that we couldn't do before either because both. We had kids, too many kids, and
Yeah.
not enough money. So,
Yeah.
so now it's a really, really sweet time, which we're thoroughly enjoying. All right,
That
well,
is
Oh, that's so
awesome.
great.
it really was fun. What
Yeah.
was the biggest challenge that you overcame this year, and what did you
Mm.
learn from it?
Hmm.
We can rotate the order. I'll go first. I,
Okay.
Okay.
I would say giving a presentation at a women's conference on the topic of finding the good things after loss, tracing God's hand after loss. I
Hmm.
realized what I learned is how much I realized I missed teaching or being sort of in that servant leadership role. That was just really, really
Mhm.
a sweet, sweet thing. And I just recognize how much I want to get more into that space. So what
And we're
about one of,
glad you are.
thank you. What about one of you?
Well, my biggest challenge, I think it's kind of personal, but my son spiked anxiety. So that was really hard for us. He ended school, started school since we moved. I mean, so much happened this year. It's crazy. There was just like this roller coaster of interesting times as every life has, right? But just seeing him go through that extreme process and helping him guide him through that, it was hard, really hard. But now it's beautiful because he's through it and we've learned so much. And what I really learned during that time was like, I was never in control of it, right? It's like I had to keep surrendering it to God. And I really do believe that the prayers that friends and family prayed delivered him from that because he'll say it's gone. I mean, we all get anxiety here and there, right? That's just life. We're human, but the magnitude that he had it is gone. And it's beautiful to see that we're on the other side, but when you're in it, it's just like, oh, it's debilitating for a mom to see your child go through something that hard and you can't help, right? There's really nothing you can do. Almost sometimes you make it worse because you're like, what? We can get through it. And they're like, no, we can't. So that was the biggest challenge, but then I learned a lot. It taught me a lot about those big things, how I'm not in control, but he's still a child of God and God loves him more than we could ever love him. And so releasing him to that and helping and guide him through it. But yeah, that was a tough one. I felt like
That, yes, that is hard when they're hurting in whatever, topic they're hurting in, and there's, I don't want to say so little you can do, but you're right. You don't have the control. And
No.
how do you kind of be there for them? You can't do it for them just
No.
because you can't. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is very hard. Very hard. But yeah, and you learn, and isn't that interesting? Of course, we learn so much through the
Yeah.
trials.
Yes.
Yes. What about you, Marianne?
Yeah. Wow. Well, my biggest challenge, I would say, is in the personal area as well. Was really I needed to this year put my entire life and obligations and friends on hold and focus on my marriage.
Right.
We hit a roadblock. We're about to be 25 years married, but we hit still a major speed bump, I'll call it. And it's interesting because I was reflecting, Rochelle, on last year we ended with, who do you want to get to know more in 2025? And I said, my husband. I just had no idea it would unfold in the way it did in terms of it coming from a speed bump instead of, just the love and the passion you want to put into a marriage.
Right.
But the gift in that and what I learned is that we really do need to trust the Lord. We need to kind of back off a little bit and look at the situation through the lens of how Jesus loves us. We're all broken. And I know initially in this speed bump, I was pointing fingers and looking at him with accusatory thoughts and words and, not really reflecting on myself. And so just really the Lord through this last few months has shown me that, we're all broken. We all need his hope, his love, and to be seen as he sees us.
Right.
And so now, I'm being more deliberate to see my husband and through the eyes of Jesus versus my own pain, hurt, things that go on. So but it's been interesting because I've not had my life go on hold like this and make this my sole priority in our 25 years of marriage. Wow. So now it is, and it's a blessing, and we're still on the journey, and we'll hear more about that for 26.
Yeah.
But it's been good.
Well, I think it's so important for all of us to recognize that it's not smooth once you get married, and even once you've kind of quote unquote finished raising your child, because now you have an adult child, that doesn't mean the challenges are over. And to hit that speed bump, I think it's a good message for the rest of us to realize there could still be challenges ahead. And you both made the commitment, like, we're committed, we're staying, we're going to work this out, and you're doing the work, you're doing the hard work. I think that's really commendable, inspiring, admiring, all those wonderful words.
Thank you. And it has been, I've heard this said before, but it is so true. Both individuals need to really invest in, getting to the next level of relationship and depth, and both be willing to turn it over to the Lord to help us navigate that.
Absolutely. Yes,
You know?
yes.
So it's been really good.
Yeah.
And a few nice books and resources have also helped.
And that's what they're for.
Yeah.
That's what they're for. I'm a firm believer in support and help and knowledge and all of that in whatever avenue, and then keeping the order and the priorities right. I think you're doing that for sure.
Thanks. I'm going to do I'm going to switch a quick shout out to The Vertical Marriage, because that's the book that's been really helpful to us. So just in case any of your listeners would like to have help with hitting speed bumps.
There you go. Vertical Marriage. That's already a great, intriguing title.
Yeah, it's about look up first before you look out.
Right, right. All right. What's something you did for the first time this year? Something you did for the first time. Why don't you go first this time, Amy? We'll just kind of keep rotating.
I left my family for a week and went on vacation.
Wow.
It was amazing. I would do it again and again. And it's funny, again, you think you're so scared. It was just so like, wow, I'm doing this. I went on a trip with my aunt, and she had invited me like a year ago, and I said yes, and we planned it. And then as it came closer, I'm like, oh, I can't do this. I can't leave. There's so much, because you don't realize as a mom how much you actually do until you leave. Like the kids ready for school, and just the things, like you are the person. And so I just left. Let me just tell you, the minute I got on that plane into her house, I mean, I just rested. I didn't have to think about anything but myself. And my aunt and I just traveled so amazing together. Like we didn't know that was going to happen either, because we've never traveled together, especially for that length of time. And she and I just had so much fun. I mean, we laughed, we ate, we hiked, we went outside. I mean, we're both just very adventurous. So it was just amazing. I mean, I highly recommend it to any moms out there who have never gotten away from their family for a week. Yeah, it was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Well, you'll have to do it again, whatever that might look like. It doesn't have to be once in a lifetime.
Well, no, my aunt and I are talking about making that an annual trip.
There you go. There you go.
Like first annual, and every year. Yeah, because it was just so much fun. She's retired like you too, and travels the world and does a lot of things. And so me taking that week to spend with her was just so wonderful.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
What about you, Marianne? What about you?
Wow, well, I had to really think about this. And something that I did for the first time was I was asked to give the eulogy at a dear friend's funeral. And this probably could have come under the challenge part, but it just, it's an honor, but it's also a little bit of a challenge to reflect on the fullness of someone's life and their impact and their character. And to do that, to deliver that in about 10 minutes was something, it was a really interesting and very rewarding exercise. One, it was an honor to be asked, and because I had known him the longest in the room of people that was there besides his immediate family. And it was just neat to be able to connect with them and connect with remembering him in this way. And so to help myself get to it narrowed down, I just picked 3 characteristics of his and then shared some examples through the lens of that characteristic. Like his humor, his leadership, his generosity, things like that. And it was neat. It was a neat experience.
What a great way to organize it.
Yeah.
And of course, this is where you excel.
Yeah, but I'd never had to do something like this. It's one thing to coach executives on their presentations, but it's another to then share, the life of someone that And then ironically, just last week, or actually 2 weeks ago, I was asked to, a friend asked what I would recommend because he was being asked to give a eulogy as well. And so I was able to share a little bit about my experience, and then he, gleaned from that what was helpful for him.
Wow. That's
Wow.
another sideline out of your niche already, you
Right?
know.
That's what I was
Thinking. Not that we want
Specializing.
that sideline, but I mean, it
Yeah,
is so
right.
neat, right? It's
It's, I
another
mean, yeah,
thing you have
Right.
to give a speech on.
yeah,
Oh my
and we want
gosh.
to be really thoughtful about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right, right. It's an honor and a responsibility, right?
yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure. How about you,
fantastic.
Rochelle?
I would say, I was thinking about this. I did a couple things for the first time, but I would say the big thing I did was I had never been to a conference by myself where I didn't know anybody there. And I
Yeah.
stayed in a hotel by myself. I had never done, well, I did that once when I was picking up a kid from college, but this was different. This was, 3 nights, not knowing anybody,
Wow.
yeah. And so I felt like, oh, I can do hard things. Now, some people, like I know, Marianne, you traveled a lot for work. So that like, you're like, well, that is like, I mean, for you, that's
That was
not
my
a,
norm.
yeah, that was your norm. But for me, I had never done that before. And
Yeah,
Same. I mean, yeah.
early on, just kind of went, oh, okay, I can. Yes,
yeah,
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And I just feel so good about the fact that I did it. So,
good for
yeah,
you.
somebody else's
Woohoo.
first is a norm for some, and that's the beauty of it,
Yes.
Yeah.
that we're all so different.
Hmm.
All right. So what was oh yeah, your word for last year and how did it play into your year? So do you all remember your words? If not, I think I've got them somewhere here. You probably
Yes.
remember them.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think,
Miriam,
yeah,
why don't you
and you had
start us
shared,
off?
we talked about that at the last breakfast we had
Ah, that's
together.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Miriam, why don't you start?
So my word was amplify.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
And because I had just finished writing, publishing, and launching my book at the end of 2024,
Your story for
amplify.
God's glory. Let's just throw that in there.
Your story
Yeah.
for God's glory is the name of the book. And so I went into 25 thinking, well, I want to amplify, I want to make known, I want to kind of enable that message and that resource to be more known to people.
Hmm.
However, with the speed bump in which I encountered, amplify took on a whole new meaning.
Wow.
As the year unfolded, it actually ended up being about amplifying my own voice and my own needs.
Yeah.
Love
Um,
that.
because in the course of this journey that my husband and I and our daughter, because she moved back home, have been on, is I realized, because I'm a mom and a people pleaser, and you're always like trying to look for what can you do to help your kids and your family.
Yeah.
I would typically not make my own needs or desires known, not with intent, or it was not even a thought process. But I realized that didn't set them up for success in order for them to be a part of helping me be supported and be a part of the journey that we were all on together as we enter this new season. And so amplifying my own voice became a
Ah,
piece of that, is to recognize that I need to share what I think and feel more readily, and they're willing to take it on, and it helps them help me, which makes everybody happy.
right. That is such an
Wow.
interesting that
So
you
neat.
recognize the shift.
Oh
You
yeah.
thought it was one thing, and it was still a great word and a great theme,
Yeah.
but it ended up being something else completely far, way, way more personal.
Hmm.
Yeah. And I do feel
Wow.
like God's going to use that somehow in my journey going forward.
Right. Oh yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Oh, no
No doubt.
doubt. No doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
No doubt.
Okay, what about you, Amy?
Well, my word was alive. And I had written come alive in 2025, like blossom and blooming is what I call myself, with like this flower that was coming alive. When honestly, after we moved and everything happened with Phoenix, my son, like I just felt like I died. My flower just like, I mean, it's the same thing. Like you think at the beginning of the year, like, oh, it's gonna be this amazing thing. And then it is not. Like life happens and the world comes at you and things come at you. And so I don't feel like I really came alive or blossomed or bloomed too much in 25, but there were moments probably could say that I did, but not the whole
Well,
year.
I think your hostessness did, because you
Yes,
became a hostess for
yes,
so
That's
many
yes.
events.
Yeah,
Like
your
made our
home.
home a home. I
Yes.
gardened a bunch. I mean, I guess you could say I came alive in my botany, learning which plants live and which die, like that kind of thing. Gardened a ton this last year. So yeah, it's just interesting how I think the same thing when I did it. I thought it was going to be my business. We're all always working on some type of business, and I thought my business would come alive and blossom and bloom, and that's where I really saw the word going. But honestly, God called me again back to my family where I needed to just be rooted and grounded here and helping them to come alive and be the best that they could be, right? And so it just took on the same thing, like a totally different meaning of what I thought I was going to, because it was all about me, just like it was all about you. Like, I feel like God's like, no. We're going to shift it here. And then it took on a whole different meaning.
Well,
But
I have to say, as a friend, one thing I really stuck with me at our last breakfast meeting is how alive Phoenix is now that he's past his anxiety, and how he's got all these friends, and he's, he's
blooming and
he's coming into his own.
He really did bloom and blossom this year.
Well, and I was thinking as you were talking about gardening and blossoming and all that, it's that little bit of pruning where you're like, ooh, the plant doesn't look good right now, but you have to prune it back to get it to be even more than it was going to be if you hadn't pruned it. So,
and that's funny you say that, because yesterday I went out and pruned a ton of my plants and they look so ugly right now. And I keep thinking, oh, but in the spring they're going to come back. The flowers are going to pop up. And I don't know if that's true because I've never planted these plants, but they're all dead. And so I just pruned them back. But it's funny you say that, because I did that actually in my garden yesterday.
Yes, totally love that. I mean, it makes so much sense. So we don't enjoy the pruning.
We do not like the pruning. We want the blossoming and the beautiful flowers all the time.
Yes, exactly.
And
well, my word for last year was abide.
Yeah.
And I wrote it on a little tiny post-it note. And so every time I pulled out, my pen, my pencil in my little pouch to kind of read for the morning. So I saw it daily, which for me is very key. I mean, I can't just pick a word and not think about it again until I need a visual reminder. And it's funny, we all kind of shifted what we thought. I thought this was going to be a really hard year in terms of my parents and their mortality. I wasn't sure how that was going to go. My dad's got bladder cancer. My mom is, she's 86. She's slowing down a bit. I just thought, oh, this is the word he's given me because I'm really going to need to abide in him going through hard things, like maybe a far greater decline for both of them. That didn't happen. That did not happen. So abiding was for me then just a constant reminder to be in him, just a constant reminder, be with him, be with him, be with him. And so that was really good. Very different. I think all of us very different than we thought. But isn't that the beauty of it all?
Sure.
All right. So we're heading into 2026, and I'm sure that we all have new words for, well, we'll find out. I'll go ahead and start. My word for this year is awe. Awe, yeah, AWE. And the reason is I was on someone else's podcast, and I can't remember the question she asked me, but my answer was, I never want to stop being in awe of God and the way he works. So that is my word. I want to be in a constant state of marveling, like, oh my gosh, look at that. And oh my gosh, that connection. Oh my gosh, that was God. That's where I want to be this year. So that's my word. Another A word.
Love it. Love it. Okay, I'm going to buck the system.
That's okay. You're going with a different letter.
I struggled over these last few weeks with finding a word, and it just doesn't feel settled, doesn't feel right. But what kept coming up for me in the last month or so has been a process.
Okay.
And it's a process of purge, like old things, old thoughts, old lies to myself. The second is to dream what could be beautiful going forward, what could be good for our family. And then third is build. So now with that in mind, how can I build what will support that becoming reality?
Cool.
And last is pursue. So once I've built it, I want to pursue it and be intentional with that.
Ooh, I love that.
So
We've
that's
got all.
my little process is going to be purge, dream, build, and pursue.
Wait,
That
was
could be
Purge
another book.
first? Wait, was Purge
That's
first?
another book.
Was Purge a word? Was that the first word?
Purge.
Oh,
So like get
Purge.
rid of the thought of
Okay.
purging is to get rid of like old things, old thoughts, old behaviors, things that don't serve anymore.
Yes.
You know, we're used to cleaning out in January. We tend to do a clean out,
Yes.
but I'm just being conscious to have that clean out be multifaceted.
Right. Okay.
Wow.
Purge, process, dream, build, pursue.
Purge, dream, build, pursue. The whole thing is a process.
The process is the overriding thing. Okay, got it.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Gosh,
That's amazing. That's very
incredible.
thoughtful. I love that.
I'm
That's
gonna
powerful.
say thank you, Lord.
Yes.
You kept bringing that back on my mind.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
So,
Wow.
assistant for the year.
Mhm.
Oh, and process is so good. We're always
In a
in
process.
process. And if we're not,
We're
I
not
don't even
growing.
know what to say about that.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah.
Okay, Amy, what about you?
I did not. I was like, word for 26? No. Unlike you, I didn't even look at it. I looked at it like the first 3 months. And then when life just like took this wild and roller coaster ride where we came to December and I'm like, what happened? It was April. Now we're in December. But I feel like when I was praying, like God keeps telling me to trust.
Ooh, that's good.
So, I mean, that could be my theme and my word, because just like Marianne, exactly what you just said is what I need to do. Like let go of the old and just trust and believe that new and beautiful things are coming. And yeah, so I remember write down trust because I have such, I don't want to say a hard time with it, but I think it's hard for all of us to trust
Yes.
and believe,
Yes.
right? Like we all have this strong faith, and I think that that is honestly the covenant. Like you have to trust and surrender. And I did a whole sermon on surrender with a group that I at church, and it was so powerful. And yet you forget. Right. Because when I was thinking about trust, I was like, that's right. I did that whole sermon on surrender. And I went back to my notes and I was like doing the process I had the group do. And I'm like, I should be doing this every day. And so it's amazing to me how quick we forget.
Oh, yes.
Like it's just in the moment, we're gung ho, we're ready. And then it's like 3 months later, we're just, oh, okay. And then you just forget.
Yes.
So,
and that's
and
why we
I need to trust
reminders.
everything, right? Just trust, because that's where you have peace. And I want a lot more peace this year.
Yes.
Last year didn't seem very peaceful.
And there is a connection between trust, surrender, and peace, I think.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you can't have one without the other, really.
No. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Very good. Okay. Is there something new you want to do or try this year?
Well, for me, I was thinking, I want to check a few things off my bucket list, so to speak. There's some things I'd like to do. Like visit the Reagan Museum, which is not so far from us here in San Diego. It's in Simi Valley. Because they have an Air Force One airplane actually there, and I want to go through it. Looks like just seems interesting, and it's something that my husband and I would both have an interest in and could go to. Do a little roadie trip, and maybe see the Getty Museum when we're up there. That's been on my list, and I have, again, we live not so far from it. And then maybe, I don't know if it's this year, but really I would like at some point to see the Ark, that Noah's Ark that's in Kentucky.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have friends that just went. It sounds amazing.
Tell me about that. I
Yeah.
don't think I know about that.
There's a replica
Oh,
of the Noah's
replica. Okay,
Ark.
got it.
It's like the actual size of
Mhm.
what was forecasted the Noah's Ark would had to have
Yeah.
been the size of, based
Right.
on biblical scripture
Mhm.
and things along that line. So my sister went to see it. Thus, it was amazing, and I just haven't had an opportunity. And my husband and I would like to do it at some point.
Oh, that's great. Love that.
Yeah.
What about you, Amy? Something new you want to try?
So, well, my new thing was I just actually said it to my husband and son is that I'm going to put a bunch of adventures in a jar. And we're going to pick one, and once a month, we're going to do one because I don't feel like we had enough last year. Like I said, we moved and then we started school. My son started high school. So it just went like on that schedule. And so I want us to have more adventure and fun. And it's funny, the same friend that went to the Ark, she did this with her husband when they were dating. So they had a new adventure of dating every month. And that's what made me think that. I'm like, you know what? Our family needs that adventure. So whatever it is, we have to do it. We pick at the beginning of the month, it doesn't have to be that day or whatever, but we plan it before the end of that month happens. We're going and we're doing it. And there's no excuses.
And it's not we have your listeners type in what's their favorite adventure that they
yes, that would
we need to
Sure.
add to my list.
Yes, let us know.
Yeah,
well,
your favorite
definitely the one
adventures.
thing that I've always wanted to do, again, not that far, and we passed by it, and every time we're like, oh, we don't have time for that. But the gondola that you take in Palm Springs, you go up and you end up in the snow. You've done it?
I've done it.
Yeah. And so you have done it. We've never done it. So many times we've been to Palm Springs, I'm like, let's go do the gondola. And then it's like, no, we just want to get home. Right. So
Yeah,
it has to
yeah,
be a trip that you just go do. Again, a day trip.
Yes.
Not that far.
yes. Oh, I love that. That's a good one. And I too have never been on that. And I'm like,
Right?
I go to
So
Palm Springs at least once a year. I don't know what
we
the
do
problem
too.
is.
Maybe twice a year we go to Palm Springs and have never done it. So I just want to go do that. None of the golf, none of the swimming, the sun, whatever. Just go do the gondola.
Oh, that
Make
is
sure
so
it's open
fun.
because we did have one time.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, weather change is what I hear. Huge weather change.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
Okay, for me, I think the new thing I want to try is I've got a lot of sort of content around coaching, so I want to continue to roll that out and then also create sort of standalone courses that if somebody wants to, because they prefer to sort of work independently or do it on their own time or whatever, they don't necessarily want the structure of one-on-one coaching or small group coaching,
Mm-hmm.
to put some of that together. It's just so interesting that trying new things, it's
Yeah.
because that imposter syndrome kind of, tries to get in there and you're like, no, no, thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and do this and we'll see what happens. So again, and part of it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about missing teaching, how I miss
Mm-hmm.
that. And this would be a way to kind of help fill that desire and then the nudge, the ever-present nudge. So,
And you're so incredible at it. Yes.
oh,
Like the way that you put together a presentation or course, it's so methodical and thoughtful, and you're so good at presenting it and knowing what it is. You are too.
Well,
I mean,
and being
so,
learner focused.
but you're both so gifted in that. It's
oh,
beautiful, like very beautiful. So I think you're going to do amazing. It's just getting it
yeah.
out there and doing
Yeah,
it, right?
yeah,
That isn't that all of our,
yeah. And the whole marketing thing,
that's the hard part.
it's challenging. You
Yeah.
don't want to feel, I don't know, you start to feel like, oh my gosh, you don't want to be that person. But then the other side of it is, well, people don't know what they don't know. I mean, you have to
Right.
kind of,
And how can you help people if you don't be that person? Because they're not
right.
going to know that you have
Yes,
this service
yes,
and this
yes.
gift. It honestly is a gift, and you're sharing your gift. So
And
how
that's,
do they know that you have
yes.
this gift if you don't
Don't tell them that
advertise or talk to
yes,
people or ask for
exactly.
referrals? I think you have a big enough network, you could even ask for referrals,
Right. That's a good idea. That's a
that's
very good idea.
going
And
out
for
there.
me,
So
it's very service. I mean, for me,
yes,
it's like
it's
just,
coming from your heart. It's
yeah,
not
it's
like
it's
and you're at a stage of your life where it's not like you're trying to make the money to raise the kids and pay the mortgage. You're
Right.
retired.
Yeah,
This is
right.
your love
Yeah.
project. You're doing this as a
Yes.
service from your heart to help others.
Yes.
So I just think that God's going to bless it and bring you the right people
I
that you
love
can coach
it.
and help.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate that so much. That's a wonderful shot of inspiration and encouragement, my friends. Thank you both. Just love that. What
Mhm.
area of your life needs more focus this year? What needs more focus? I can just dovetail right off what I just said, and
Yeah,
it's
go ahead.
that it's the podcast is it's doing a thing and it's great. I mean, it's
Doing a
been
thing.
5.5 years. I've kind
Uh-huh.
of got it dialed in. The blog that I write that goes with it. I don't want to say those things are seamless. They're not, but I've been done it enough to where it's like this new challenge. That's where I want to have more focus this year. So that's
Mhm.
mine. That's mine.
Awesome. And makes complete sense that you can now shed some things and be able to focus on that because the other routines are more in place and not as so much of a burden of energy for you. So
Yes.
it'll be nice. For me, it's I'd say health. I mean, I want to continue to absolutely build on the things that my family and I are doing from a relational standpoint.
Yeah.
But one of the gifts of our daughter moving back home at 22 with a minor in fitness is we have a in-house fitness coach. And she has definitely made my husband and I aware that we can make some adjustments that would really enhance our health. I'm a big walker, as you guys know. I do a lot of walking, running, that kind of thing, but I haven't done any muscle building or any, I need to be more balanced in terms of what I do. Also, because I'm realizing as I'm getting older, I want to build my core and balance strength because I find myself getting off balance every once in a while, which kind of takes me by surprise. And I want to, so I think a little bit more focus in that would be good in the long run.
Well, those are good. What about you, Amy?
Yeah. And that's what I wrote down is focusing on my own health, my business, and myself. I feel like I've given and given and given this last year. And I hadn't really, I'm someone that I work out all the time and I teach Pilates and I love it. I love to see people grow in that, but I practice what I preach, so I do that. But also the weight training. We just joined the gym as a family, and as we get older, you need to build muscle, so you have to be lifting weights. It's just something that you have to incorporate. And so yeah, just my own health and getting on back on a regimen. Again, this year just went. I usually eat really healthy, but we did a lot of prepared meals at Trader Joe's, and we weren't eating fast food or anything, but that stuff is like usually we cook homemade stuff, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Well, that didn't a lot happen in this last 6 months since we started high school. It's just been busy. It was a really, really busy season. And so just getting back to that, like back to the basics, because I know what to do and we know what to do, right? But then just implementing it back and making it a habit, just getting it back on the docket to where like last year I started Legree. Well, I did that until we moved and I hadn't been back to Legree. Well, I still have a package there of like 550 sessions. So I need to get back because that really built my strength. So yeah, just a little more focus on ourselves, right?
Yes, in a good, healthy way, right? Yeah, that's
Which I
wonderful.
think is then going to pour over into our family.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes. And that's
Serve others.
something that I think women maybe in general don't recognize that
Yeah.
if you fill your cup, then you
Mhm.
actually have more and a better quality to give of
Yeah.
yourself. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, what does a good year look like for you this upcoming year? It's a good year.
I just wrote down, it looks like peace in all areas of life, like more time with loved ones and just spending that quality time like with you ladies and not feeling so rushed. I just feel like everyone's so rushed nowadays.
Oh
Like
yeah.
even you meet a friend for a walk and it's like, oh, we have 30 minutes and we gotta because I gotta get here and I gotta go there. And I just want time to slow down in 26. I just want to sit and be at peace and just revel in the love and beauty that's around us, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we live in such a beautiful place. You don't even have to go far outside your front door to see it. And so that for me is what a good year looks like. Just slowing down
Right.
and
Gosh.
being at
so true.
peace.
Yes. Love that.
Yeah.
And
I'd say mine's along that line too, is contentment was kind of a word that was coming to
Ooh.
mind.
I love that word.
Just feeling a sense of contentment. And one of the things I really want to have more of is what my friend Chow coined a phrase called what is it called? All of a sudden, moments of wealth. And moments of wealth is defined by her as an experience that no amount of money can improve.
Ooh.
Such as walking in the rain with my family, holding hands. You know, it's like money ain't gonna make that better.
No.
So it's just being mindful to have a heart of gratitude and thoughtfulness around how do I create more moments where it doesn't matter if you have money or not, or you're just out there doing something that connects and it builds a fond memory. So I want to have lots more of those and just be intentional about it. Yeah.
How about you?
Oh, me. That's funny. I thought I'd already answered that. No, I haven't answered that. Let's see. A good year for me would be, well, kind of my ongoing theme of everything else I've said. I just really want to be able to serve in that way and, uh, create and connect and help women in particular not leave any blessings on the table. I mean, that's just that for me, like you've God wants to bless you so much and he gives you so much and we don't always receive it and take advantage of it in a good way, like, we just finished Christmas. If you could imagine having all these gifts around the tree that have your name on them that you didn't open. Why didn't you open them? Come on.
That
Yes.
is a beautiful visual.
Yes. So that is kind of, I think my 2026 is, and then, of course you're juggling and balancing the other things, but that's really going to be my focus coming into
That's
the new
beautiful.
year. Yes, thank you. Is there anything you ladies want to say as we conclude here for today?
Just capture every moment that you can
Yeah.
in 2026. Recognize those blessings.
Well, and I just wrote down, like, I want to do what I love, learn, laugh, and grow. And I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I feel like if you're not learning, you're dead, right? And the way you grow is by learning and failing. I mean, we fail forward and just laughter. Laughter is medicine, right?
Yes.
And I don't feel like we've laughed enough this year.
Well,
Just those
and
moments of like cracking up where you think you're going to cry and pee your pants, just laugh, just the simple things in life, as you said, like, it's just like money has nothing to do with it. Like, you don't need money to laugh or grow or learn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and isn't it interesting? I mean, I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about God's humor, but clearly
No.
he's got a sense of humor because we wouldn't have something that he doesn't already have. So he's got to be,
Well, and they call it the joy, right? But I just heard about laughter. I forgot what they called it. But I went to the healing room recently and did the prophetic word, and the word for me was like peace and joy, but laughter. And we just laughed. They're like, let's just laugh. And we're all three just laughing. And I forget what it's called. I have to look it up. But there is a word from the Bible, and it's a certain type of laughter where you're just supposed to laugh because it brings you joy. And then when people hear it, it's contagious, right? And they're like, I'm laughing. Like, I don't even know what I'm laughing about, right?
Oh,
So,
I want to hear that word.
Yeah, I'll have to find it in my notes.
Find that
but
word. Yes.
it made me realize when they, prayed and prophesied over me, like they saw the joy in me, but they're like, but you're not feeling it. And I'm like, oh my God, I was just crying. I said, you're right. Like, I've let this year just take over and, play itself out in my life to where I lost a bit of my own joy and my laughter because I am a regular. I mean, God, that's how he made me. right? I'm just,
Oh, absolutely.
I'm just the light,
Yes.
right? I'm everybody's
Yeah.
light. But then I did feel like my light got kind of dim this year. But they saw it in me and they're like, we just see joy and it's just like overflowing. I'm like, that's usually how I am. And they're like, no, you're that now. Let's laugh, you know. Like, we were just
Oh,
cracking up.
That's
So
good.
yeah, so just laughing and growing and learning. That's what I'm
yeah,
doing.
different seasons, right? You had
Right. Yeah.
a hard season, and
Yeah.
but it's a season. I think that's so important to remember that it
Yes.
doesn't have to now be the whole thing. It
No.
was for a time,
Yes.
and you can get through for a
Yeah.
time that sort of
Mm-hmm.
hard time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys, okay, so in real life, IRL, that whole,
IRL.
all these acronyms, we are dear friends in real
Yes.
life, and that's why I invited them on. We are in a mastermind in which we share goals and encourage one another and are accountable to each other in the best way possible. So
Mm-hmm.
this has been the truest of pleasures for me, and such an
Yeah.
honor to be able to kind of, wrap up this year and head into a new year with some great
Mm-hmm.
insight and inspiration. And I adore and love you both so much.
We love you too,
We love you
Rochelle.
too.
And
Thank
grateful for
you.
this opportunity.
Well, I'm
That's,
grateful that you do this. Thank you
Yes.
oh,
for encouraging us to do this every year.
oh
I
my
like this
gosh.
new
Yes.
tradition because
Yes,
it
me
does make you
too.
think and
Yes.
then dream forward.
It
Like
does.
a
Yes.
think back
Dream
and a dream
forward.
forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you say look back? Think
It
back?
makes you think back and then you
And
dream
dream
forward.
forward.
Like,
Oh, I
oh, what
like
does this
that.
next year look like? Like,
Mhm.
what do I want? Like,
Yeah.
because when do you ever sit down and think about that? You don't, but you have
Right.
these wonderful, fresh questions that inspire us to do that,
Yes. Yes. Oh,
dreaming
good.
and growing.
And it was good for me too. Thanks,
Yeah.
ladies.
Thank you.